swords be turned to plowshares? Can we and all nations not live in peace? In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. I think maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep...
Okay, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Okay, double honors to your elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the children of Israel, that are people of Negro, Latino, Native American, Seminole Indian descent, are Israelite foreigners as well, who through their father's side are Israelites that are living amongst these heathen nations. Again, let me say peace and shalom. All right, and let me get a quick precept here. Deceitful devils, man. And we're in a time of a period of great deception. Great deception. And though this is old, from the 80s, it's still very relevant to this day, what this devil is speaking. And all he's doing is he's just playing his role as the, when you fast forward to these modern devils, they're all playing the same role, or they're all repeating the same thing. May it be saying it differently, or, speaking on different topics or whatever, but their whole agenda is the same, to unite these Edomites, man. And these Edomites to rise up eventually, to rise up against the tribes, where, public enemy number one, the number one target is the elect of the children of Israel. All right, so like the scripture says here, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's the whole goal of this devil, is war, man. To shed blood, to shed the blood of the children of Israel. So we can get back to the video, play a little bit more of it.
Count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all. There have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered.
114 wars where probably 98%, 99% of them were Esau, Edom was behind it. The Edomites, who, according to the scriptures, the so-called white man, behind them all.
What if all of us in the world...
And hold up. Now that you mentioned that, it's a scripture in Revelation. Horse was red. The one that was upon that horse was red. Revelation 6. There you go. And there went out another horse. That horse which represent power, which we bring out quite often, is this earth was given into the hands of this white man to rule for this short season. All right. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. A great sword. And that great sword, just look at it, his military might. And it goes far beyond that, especially when you actually go into the blessing that this devil has. The sword. He was blessed by the sword through he was blessed with the sword through his father Isaac, man. All right, and again, that blessing is greater than you can possibly imagine, man. Because like I said, this the sword, man, that this devil uses doesn't just come with fire behind it, or out of a barrel of a pistol, or this he has weaponized food, water. He even weaponized the air. He even went as far as he even weaponized people, the minds of people. So this man, his sword, he done weaponized medicines. You know, this man has weaponized everything. So his blessing, this man is the devil, man, that the Bible speaks of. And we're going to continue telling you that. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. That his blessing goes, that he's using in wickedness has go far beyond that your imaginations, far beyond it, man. That to the point that he's working at a cellular level, the microscopic level to weaponize, things, So this devil again, in front of the media and in front of his brethren, this man is making. We've made progress. We done civilized the world. You know how these fools speak. These fools. Esau Edom. He's gonna go out just like that, being a goddamn fool, man. A demonic ass damn fool. But anyway, let me play. I know I'm rambling. Let me let this play.
Often wondered.
Cause listen, they know this thing is coming. The day of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai's, the day of Yahweh Shai's wrath. They know this day is coming. And I'm talking about the elites of these devils. But those underneath him, maybe in this case, there may be some, a few of them, for example, like this devil Reagan here, that actually, they may have briefed on the chariots of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They may have briefed them, and I'm sure, I won't doubt they've seen plenty of them, especially becoming a president of the United States. You have to be linked in, somewhere to the point that nothing's held back from you as far as information goes. So, they know about the chariots of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So their thing is what they're planning on. They're planning on fighting against Yahweh Shai when he cracked them skies, man. When him and the angels, when they, again, and I'm always believe that's the whole point of them not using those big boys. That's why when you hear of like Russia, for example, they're preparing and they're making measures to prevent the invaders from taking over what they call the motherland. And they are threatening to use what they refer to as tactical nukes, which are nuclear weapons that are much smaller than those big boys that's going to come out those silos. Those big boys, for example, like Russia has what they call the Satan II. It's the Satan II. The Satan II is not a tactical nuke. And hold on, let me do this. Let me look it up. Let me see if I can find it here. Tactical nuke. Hope I spelled tactical right. It should correct it if it's not. For what's a tactical nuke? Tactical nuclear weapon. Tactical nuclear weapon, a TNW, or non-strategic nuclear weapon, is a nuclear weapon that is designed to be used on a battlefield in military situations, mostly with friendly forces in proximity, and perhaps even on contested friendly territory. General, smaller, and explosive power. They are defined in contrast to strategic nuclear weapons, which are designed mostly to be targeted at the enemy interior, far away from the war against military bases, cities, towns, arms industries, and other hardened or larger area targets to damage the enemy's ability to wage war. No tactical nuclear weapons have ever been used in combat, but Russia has used a tactical nuke. And I'm trying to think of when the war of started, when Ukraine started invading, or when Ukraine started attacking Russian citizens in Ukraine, cities that were heavily populated. That kind of sound kind of funny even saying that, because they're all the same people, but they were coming up against Russian citizens that were already established and I think it all started in Donetsk, if I can remember, if I'm correct. I may be wrong on that. You people, you brothers may know or do some research and know on find out on your own. But when it started in 2015, but 2015, 2016, around that period, Russia did shoot off a nuke as a warning. They used a tactical nuke as a warning. And as a matter of fact, if I can, actually, a little bit later, I'm actually going to try and find that video because it went around the internet on YouTube as like hotcakes, man. It was an actual Russia let off a nuke to warn, hey, y'all, this is what we're going to use. You keep it up, And it may have looked like it was a bluff, but, we're getting to that time where, like I said, man, they're going to, some serious fighting is about to begin. And if you haven't known by now or heard how that devil, Pete Hegseth, he done ordered, that's the Pentagon, that's oh God, what do they call it? I can't remember. They changed the names from something to war. Anyway, they ordered all the high-ranking generals to meet. I can't remember where, this coming Tuesday. So what's going to be discussed? That's all that information, or some information may come out soon. So it looks like these devils is getting ready, man. Like I said, that and they know, and they're being instructed by these small hats, from behind the scenes, because they're, come on, they're getting ready, man. They know the Lord's coming, man. So they're being instructed, man, that they know if, we have to go after the elect. And it could be just a hidden hand of them just trying to force Yahushai's hand by, again, their ultimate goal is they want to defeat the Lord when he gets here. So there may be some of those psychotic demons that's really want to force Yahushai's hand, because they know once they make their move on the elect, man, that Yahushai is he's gonna make his move, But we all know that it's all been orchestrated, behind the scenes. Yahweh is controlling it all, man. And again, oh man, all I can say is put your seatbelt on and hold tight, man. Because you think that ride that those food. I'm not a joy freak. I'm not a thrill seeker. That it's called the slingshot. When they put the seatbelt on, they go shot up in the air, man. Shh, that's nothing compared to what's coming. This ride we're about to experience, man, that's nothing compared to what we're about to experience, man. That slingshot where, that you have those pass out on that slingshot, male and females, man, black and white, literally pass out. So this day that's coming, and this day that they're bringing, again, they want this thing to pop off, and they want it to come in the worst way possible, again, so they can, establish their new world order. It's nothing compared to what's coming, man. It's nothing. What's coming, as the scripture says, here, let me find the precept. Men's heart. I'm out here in this outside, man, and these damn bugs. Jeez. Men's. I don't know why it didn't come up. Maybe unless I spelled it wrong. Men's hearts failing them for fear and looking after those things. Here we go. That's one of them. This is one of them. This is not necessarily the one I wanted, but it'll work. The water, Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, the water. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the power of heaven shall be shaken. Oh man, I was thinking about another one. That's the Spirit that gave me that one. So for fear, man, men's hearts is failing. Men's hearts failing. Men's hearts failing them. Hearts failing them. Faint. Faint. Hearts failing. Faint. To breathe out and faint. Hold on. Well, that's good enough. Be as women it's Isaiah. Or Jeremiah. Jeremiah. A sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all their mingled people that are in the midst of her. And okay, Jeremiah 50. And I think that's specifically going into Esau, Edom itself. I think 49 and 50 is specifically speaking about Esau, Edom, but hold on. I always want to go to prophesy against Babylon. There you go. Prophecy against Babylon. So let's get to my point here. Where'd it go? Jeremiah 15:37. 33. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And who refused to let them go? You know, the Redeemer is strong. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, said the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon the princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dot. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword, and how that's going to go down is, again, even before the chariots get here, man, you know, America's going to be getting an ass whooping, and a spiritual ass whooping, to be more specific, by those that are already here, you know, which a lot of them come across the borders, you know, what they call them open borders, and whatever else is going to be invading this place, man. Whatever else is going to be invading this, because these some proud motherfuckers. Excuse my language. These some proud devils, man. You know, we got the biggest army in the world. America all got more arms than everybody. You know, we got the biggest, we got more arms than everybody. Oh man, these some proud devils, man. You know, while on a regular basis having a bad diet, don't exercise, that's constantly drunk. You know, I mean, they stay drunk and high, man. You know, and I'm talking about the average great American, man. They stay high and drunk with a bad diet. They don't work. They don't exercise. You know, when I'm on them trails walking, man, and it is mostly, hell, not 98% Edomites, but it's the same ones I see. You know, when I'm out doing the bike ride, when I'm out doing my cardio, you know, it's the same ones, man. And I go at different times of the day, either early as hell or late as hell, or in the middle of the evening. You know, it's always the same ones. You know, very seldom do I see some stranger, and if it is, it's someone from the nearby university, some young one going home or traveling to get some food or something. You know, but other than that, you don't see no tribes, none. And those that I've seen, again, they were part of the universities, the local community college that was nearby, you know, going from one class to another, you know. Anyway, but the average Babylonian, the average Egyptian, great American, man, these fat motherfuckers ain't prepared to fight nothing, man. You know, so in their pride, they don't think this is going to happen, you know. When you hear them speaking of some civil war, they don't really want that. But then again, they're stupid. They don't understand how severe it's going to literally be. They don't understand that, man. They don't have the capacity to think right. They're stupid. Literally, they're stupid. You know, they think that gun is going to save them. And you niggas that are like-minded, they're in the same boat, lazy as hell, right now watching the football, you know. That's an everyday thing now, man. With that bread and circus, Esau is feeding them exactly what they want. Bread and circus. every day of the week, man, there's some sports going on, and these devils, because the economy has always supported them, they were able to live that lifestyle. So they ain't ready for no civil war, man. But but the funny thing is, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is gonna give them exactly what they don't want, and in some cases, exactly what they do want. And the ones that are praying, because they just want to kill. As the scripture says, in Ezekiel, the one they have not hated blood, so blood shall pursue them. He's gonna give them exactly what they want, man, and it's gonna be overwhelming. This is that day we're praying for. This is what the saints are praying for. This is what the saints are praying for. And it says, a sword is upon their horses, upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. They're going to be as women. They're going to be like bitches. They're going to be like bitches. It gives me chills, man. I can almost come to tears just thinking about it, just in joy, man, in happiness, because this is what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is looking for in the mind state in his saints, man, in his prophets. Him that have joy of his children, and him that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. And this is these pieces of trash, man, that are destroying this world. These pieces of trash. This based man and his peoples. A low life. Let me play some more of this, man. Let's see what else this devil has to say. Because there's from a couple of speeches.
Often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by an power from outer space, from another planet?
I'll get it. Wisdom of Solomon in a minute.
Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat? I couldn't help at one point in our discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe.
He called it species. So I just want to look it up, what that could possibly mean. The word species. A group of closely related organisms that are very similar to each other and are usually capable of interbreeding and producing fertile offsprings. Well, we know as going to Corinthians, how there's one flesh of celestial and there's one flesh of terrestrial, and there ain't no angels coming here to interbreed with nothing. We're here to get delivered. We're here to be changed in the twinkling of an eye and get the hell up out of here, man. Simple as that. A group of the species is a fundamental category of taxonomic classification ranking below a genus or subgenus. Species names are represented in binomial nomenclature by an uncapitalized Latin adjective or noun following capitalized. I don't mean to read all this boring stuff. A class of individuals or objects grouped by virtue of their common attributes and assign a common name and division subordinate to a genus, a set of atoms. So there you go. Thought it was something. He may be, when these devils talk, man, they like to speak to be in a manner, use a language that's almost disrespectful, and him even referring to the angels as species. Well, you can call them a species if you want, but let's be real. They're gods, man. you know, that are an energy of that's a fire, that's a this is precept that's on the tip of my tongue. My ministers, angels, it's on the tip of my tongue. And again, the scriptures, I think it's in Psalms, referring to him as actually being like energy or fire. You know how this devil is. And again, just his way of trying to be disrespectful, you know. That's he has no respect for nothing, not even himself, man. This is a devil. He's a devil. Come on, you know.
All the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are.
Fuck Reagan. That man was a straight up piece of trash, man. Literally, he was just like all of them, you know. Pieces of trash. Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 2:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. And here we are. Who else? The saints, man, that are standing in great boldness. The saints, you know, since the sincere ones, the sincere saint, the sincere Jakes. When they see it, see what? See what? When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. And let's do that. Let's do that. I would go to the blue letter, but you know, these devils are weak, man, because they don't have the spirit to give you an exact meaning, to break it down. They don't have that. They don't have that spirit in them, preservation or deliverance from destruction, difficult or evil. And again, those nukes, the big boys, is what they're waiting for, waiting to use, man. Those big boys, you know, the big boys. I'm talking about the intercontinental ballistic missiles, the ICBM missiles that releases MERS, multiple independently re-entry vehicles. That's what I'm referring to. And that day is coming, man. That fire, the day of fire, which is behold, the days come that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble and burnt up. It says preservation and deliverance from destruction, difficult or evil. And this is that day that we're waiting for a source of means or cause of such preservation or deliverance. Deliverance from the power or penalty of sin and redemption. Redemption being bought back. So that's salvation for you. That's that salvation that we're waiting for. When they see it, they shall be troubled and with terrible fear, and they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. So ain't nobody looking for no chariots to save us, you know, because right now they're looking to prepare to fight against a bunch of blizzards with tentacles like the aliens in Independence Day, so, shit like that, man. They don't expect some so-called black man to crack them skies. That's the least thing that if they wouldn't even think about it. They get that thought out their head immediately, man. They're covering their ears, man. That's the last thing that they're thinking of, the cracking them skies. After all they've done, and after all this, as what the scripture says, with a continual stroke, a continual stroke. They didn't have no mercy. It was like like it says, let me grab it. Not Jeremiah, I want to keep that. I might have to come back to that. Let me just open a new one. Never let down, man. And even now they're investing more and more into the prison system, which is privatized, so they can make more and more money, man. So by doing, in order for them to be more profitable in that, they have to target the tribes, you know, the children of Israel, man. Like the scripture says, these devil, which is accusing us day and night before our power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual. Not except, and proceeding negation, except after implied or expressed negative negation, so as not, in order not, an account of not, because not, until now. Let me do this. Doom, doom. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. You struck the people with endless blows of rage and held the nations in your angry grip with unrelenting tyranny. What does that sound like? And who else has the power to do these things, man? To act out this aggression? Who has that power? Only the so-called white man. Hell, the white man can go to, he can go anywhere, man, and raise war against these nations, and ultimately he's going to end up coming up on top, man, by instilling his. He may not win the war, but his ultimate goal is just to kill and to instill and to destroy, man. He can care less if he wins a war. Just like Afghanistan, for an example, he didn't care about winning that war, man. As long as he got what he wanted, was those poppy fields. You know, it's only these idiots that's like, oh man, we the greatest military in the world. Idiots. That was his goal, man. Was to destroy his own people for profit. To destroy the world for profit. Whew. This is, man, and just imagine the kingdom telling our children about this man in this world, man. Like, they're gonna be amazing. Y'all made it up out of that, but yeah, you know, it was just because we transgressed Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and didn't hearken that he punished us. So he, you know, he used his devil, like as the scripture said, which is his sword, his whooping stick. And we're going to be able to go back and see the great things, wicked things that this devil's done, man. Even everything that led up to the end, we're going to see it all. We're going to be able to play back and see it all. Just imagine in the kingdom how it's not going to be a television thing. It's going to be like a holograms, like we're going to be in the midst of it. Imagine that, man. You know, of course, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai got something greater for us compared to what this devil has. Because again, we can put a DVD in and play it over and over. You know, in the kingdom of heaven, man, the power and the wisdom and the knowledge that we're going to have, man, we're going to be in the movie. You know, which is now, like what's playing out now, we're going to be in it. You know, observing everything, man. Like we're in it now. You know, that's just one of the great things that's coming for us, man. That's coming to us. That's one of those great blessings and gifts that's coming to us, man. We're going to be able to see the beginning. It's just all of it, man. Anyway, I know I'm rambling a lot, so let me finish the precept and I'm up out of here. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. Anyway, so there you go. There you go. So let's give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.